town, so he can go to his bean pad and shake it in. Yeah, one of my mentees, her hive was swarming. I said, okay, grab your lemongrass oil and put it where you want them to swarm. Puts it in her hand. Queen bee lands on her hand, then comes out and lands on her hand again. I'm like, you win. That's like the best swarm catch ever. But, so it's going to be happening soon. Watch a few videos, get a few tools, get lockers, keep them in your car because, and tell Julie that you're ready. Tell her that you've got all the tools in your car. Tell her what tools you have, and she'll know what, you know, if you've got there's usually 2 ladders in my car during swarm season.
Also, it's super fun.
It is so much fun. Oh yeah, I started a channel on YouTube for catching swarms and doing cutouts. I'll put together my cutout kit and bring it next month also.
So next month you're going to give a little bit more detail to Julie's coming too, right? Is it?
Yes,
Yes.
she better be.
Yeah, she is.
She better be.
We'll find out.
No, she is. I talked to her on the phone. She is coming.
Yeah, you've got to sign up on the swarm list, and then it's better to talk to Julie yourself, give her a call, and tell her what tools you have. So that way she knows that she can send you, you know, if it's 14 feet up in the air, and you've got a ladder in your car, she knows that she can send you.
Actually, when you sign up, those questions are there, what your equipment is, so that she can gauge it. But the big issue is you have to be ready to go right then. She wants you out the door within 5 minutes.
Yes, that is one of the biggest things. She'll usually send a few people pictures and a description, but not the address. And until one person gets the address, because if 2 beekeepers show up on the same swarm, they'll fight to the death. Who gets to take that home? And me, I don't care. I just love to help. I'll go catch swarms with you. Unfortunately, my new job's going to not let me do that so much. I hate my new job.
Okay, I'm self-employed. I'll come.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm retired, I'll come.
I'm poor. I'll come.
So that's my little mini presentation. Watch some videos. Get ready to go. Okay, are you ready to go?
I'm up.
Okay, you're up.
Yeah, the swarm catching actually is fun. Back
Oh,
when
it's
I
so much fun.
first started keeping bees back in 1977, it was the only way you got bees was catching swarms. And back then, you just left your name with the police department and the fire department so that people in a panic had somebody that the authorities could send you to. And it really was fun. I mean, I discovered many years later that it was not fun, that it was hard, but by then I'd already had fun, so I didn't get poisoned with the bad thoughts. All right, I wanted to give you a plug about growing your own vegetables. I love winter squash. The only winter squash I don't love is spaghetti squash. If you love spaghetti squash, don't tell me. I'll think less of you. But I am particularly fond of butternut because it is so versatile. And this last year, I grew in my little backyard over 90 pounds of winter squash. And I brought some of my seeds from my butternut. My biggest one apparently is just an itty-bitty one compared to Owen's. Papa B, apparently, he takes that. I thought at 10 pounds for one butternut, it was not bad. But one vine produced over 50 pounds, so I figure that we were doing all right. But having bees in your yard helps a lot to get a lot of fruit. It also helps if your soil is good. They like it slightly, winter squash like it slightly acidic, and because I live in a part of town that does not have the kind of soil that I love, I amend a lot. But the way I slightly acidify is I go to Starbucks first thing in the morning and get their great big bags of grounds, and then I use that. And you can put a lot of that in. And there are a lot of Starbucks I don't know if you've noticed. So I've got a lot of coffee grounds in my dirt, and they also like calcium. So I collect all my eggshells. I have a nephew who eats a lot of eggs. He collects his eggshells for me. What you want to do is crush them up. So what I'll do is I'll dry them, and then I put them in a bag and I smash them really good. And then I sprinkle them, because otherwise they don't break down very well. And if you can work that in the soil a little bit, then you can get some pretty good harvest. But apparently, Owen, what was your
Oh, sure, what?
gigantic butternut?
39?
39 pounds.
Can I talk about pumpkins for 30 seconds?
No, boy.
Put your shells.
No.
1,427
Put your
pounds.
shells
Give
in
me
the
that here.
blender.
Yes,
And
you
that
can do
will,
that too.
because the small,
Took
the
second at
The
least.
smaller they are, the better.
blend them in a blender.
I've done that too.
The dust goes everywhere and it's stinky, but
And
the other
if you want
thing
a
is-
seed of a pumpkin, I'd give you one.
Okay, so Dave is a very generous man, and he has offered you pumpkin. I brought a few seeds here, so if you want to help yourself to a few seeds, you can try that from mine. But
Don't plant them now, it's too early.
no, you don't
I
want
hope
to do
it's
it.
too early.
can
know
you
what?
start them inside now?
Yeah, I would start them inside right now. Yeah.
Also, there's a squash group in town working on trying to create a locally acclimated butternut squash here in town. So you can just help that by planting lots of butternut squash. Because
Right.
we're trying to get it very specific to Utah.
And at the main library, they have a seed savers organization, and you can go and get seeds there too. So we've got lots of resources, and a lot of us are not just beekeepers, we're also gardeners. So I'd love it if we could be supporting each other in all of these things. And Jen pointed out, if you just put your eggshells in your blender, you might want to open the windows because it does create a little bit of dust. Because you really want it fine, because a lot of people, they'll just throw their eggshells out, but it takes years and years for that to break down. So you really do want to crush it down. And the other benefit, if you live someplace where you have deer, it discourages the deer.
Oh,
Yeah, the eggs will discourage the deer. In fact, when I used to live, I lived on the East Bench in Provo, and I had 3/4 of an acre of land, and I had I could look out my back window any winter night, and there'd be at least a dozen deer out there. So I made a deal with them. They could eat everything except my tulips. But they were not very cooperative, so I would do the eggs on the tulips, and then I actually got some tulip blossoms. But the eggs will, generally speaking, discourage deer if you live someplace where deer are an issue. Okay, any other thoughts, any comments? Should I pass them around?
Yes, please.
All right, and then we're going to have Jerry. Jerry, we've got Owen who's Papa Bee, but we've got great-grandpapa Jerry. Jerry has been keeping bees for 73 years.
Wow.
And the reason that we wanted him to speak is not just because he knows more about bees, and I think the rest of us put together, but he has the distinction of averaging 200 pounds of honey per hive. All right, now that you've picked your jaws back up on the floor, we will welcome Jerry, because he's our grandmaster here, and he is perfectly capable of living up to that reputation, and he is going to tell us how to split the hive and then recombine the hive so that you can maximize your honey production, if that's something that interests you, instead of just keeping pet bees, right? Therapy bees, there you go. My
We
bees
got
are
enough ready, or we gonna just do?
Well, we're going to share your screen.
Okay. We'll get started. When the screen gets up, when the screen's up, we'll get for a long time. And back a couple of years after I first started keeping bees, I came across a pamphlet on two-queen colony management. I don't know whatever happened to it, but it's gone. So everything else I've seen about two-queen is not the system that I use. And it's a wonderful system. Basically, what we do is that as soon as queens are available, which for me is about the 15th of April, we split the hive. I put, oh my goodness.
Whatever you do there, it's being shared up on the screen behind you.
Behind it.
Okay. There's some bees. And here's my helper. He enjoyed riding around in that bucket. His birthday is next week, and he's going to be 48 years old. So time goes by.
Jerry, I don't know if that's you. It has hair.
Well, yeah, I did have a little. I'll say this: I have 2 sons, and I've got more hair than either one of them. They got it from their mother. Here's what it looks like when you take the honey out. Now you notice the picture on the right, the picture of me. I'm on a ladder. So we've got, these 2 boxes are full of honey. I'm taking that
How
off.
many boxes are stacked in that one?
Well, we've got 3 for the brood, and then I usually go, if it's a good hive, I put 3 deep supers for honey. Then we have my helpers. The one on the left likes cinnamon rolls and doesn't like bees. And Jillian's, she's just too sweet. Okay, this is my backyard, the picture on the left. And this was last year. One hive was not as strong as the others, so I only have 2 honey supers on it. The others, I have 3 honey supers on each one of them. And the picture on the right, you can see I pulled this is 3 boxes high, and I pulled a frame of honey out of it. That's the honey that we get out of it. Last year was not as good a honey year as 24 was. But out of my 4 hives in the backyard, I got 800 pounds of honey. It's just amazing.
You gotta move over to the right a little so we can see your pictures. Your other right.
Your other right.
So where do we have to go? You can't see the picture?
Yeah.
I'm blocking it?
There we
Okay.
go.
I end up extracting honey for quite a few people. This is one of the gals that was doing it. This is the one on the right. This is my uncapping box that I have. It's got hardwood cloth on the bottom, and then I have a sheet of its photographic plate from a print shop, so that the honey, when the honey drips, it drains down to there, and then it collects in a bucket. And the stick in the middle is what I use for putting the frame on as I pivot it.
We got a lot of honey that day, Jerry.
Yeah, it is. You do.
Is that typical for you, 200 pounds per hive?
That was really good, but I get, last year I still got over 100 pounds per hive. So, here's what we're going to do. We divide the hive, we add a new queen, we super, and we go harvesting, and then we're reducing the boxes in the fall. So, for dividing the colony, I begin by adding 4 frames.
Can I say one thing, Jerry?
Yes.
If you come to our next meeting, we are going to do his process with one of the hives here. So you can have we'll
Yeah,
have
we did this with 3
hands-on-
hives last year, and I don't know.
Nicole said they were
What
both
did we-
good.
How much, what honey yield did we get off of those 3 hives? We got over 100 pounds of hive, didn't
Yeah,
we?
yeah, I think more than that, but
Yeah.
yeah, so we're doing this technique on 2 hives here, so.
So what we do, we've got an overwintered hive, 2 boxes deep. So usually we're gonna have the cat brood, usually ends up being in the top box. But we take four frames of cat brood. and 1 frame of B-brick, and 1 sheet of foundation. The reason to do the foundation is because what we're going to end up with in that top one are the nurse bees and 4 frames of cat brood that are going to start hatching right away. And one of the first things they do is start producing wax. And so if you've got a frame, in just a couple of days they'll draw that all out. And they're not building comb other places where you don't want them. So if we don't find the frame, and the queen, I usually don't find the queen. So we shake all the bees off and get it back. So let me go through and kind of demonstrate what we're doing here. So we've got a hive with 2 boxes. Look at the quality of that hive, that box.
They're well used.
Is that well made?
Those are not the economy. So what we've done, we come to the hive, we pull an outer frame off so we got brood to work with. We find the frame is full of brood. We brush the bees off from it, and then we set it in a new box sitting over here. And we do that with 4 frames. Then we're going to take the outer frames, which will usually have some younger brood in it, put them together so that we don't have a divided brood nest, and then refill the empty spaces with it. Then what we do is we take and put a queen excluder on the hive, and we take the hive that we've built up here and put it here above the queen excluder. So overnight, the nurse bees from down below are going to come up and cover those bees.
So there's that white box behind you, Jerry.
Other side.
Behind you, you're about to sit on it.
So we've got a third one. Well, now nobody's gonna be able to see anything. Okay. So we got up to the three.
So when you're filling it with the brood and that, you're filling it in a 3rd box, correct?
That's in the 3rd box, yeah.
Okay.
And then this one has empties in it. So what's going to happen to this one now is that we're not going to get swarming because we've got 4 empty frames ready for the queen to lay in. We want to search through the whole hive, especially on a year like this year, to look for any queen cells. Because if you have any queen cells, it blows this thing out of the water. It won't work. So there's no queen cells. So now in this 3rd box, now, which we put on here with the queen excluder, so the bees can come up into here, and they've covered that now with their, covered the bees with it. So now what we're going to do is we're going to isolate this and make a separate hive out of it. And to do that, we set it aside and we put a double screen divider on it. So what this is, you see there's a screen on the top and on the bottom. So the heat from the bees down here will go up and keep this warm on a cold night. But the bees can't communicate with each other, so this is a separate hive. And there's different ways to make this. This is the deluxe way. I've seen that Bob Binney, I don't know if you're watching his show, but he uses a double screen divider, and he just has about a 3-inch hole drilled in it, is all. I make it bigger so that it has, what I use I make it up using a scrap wood. I do dumpster diving. I don't know if you guys are against that or not. You gotta get to know the one. The big projects, they'll chase you off. So you get a smaller project. And what they'll do, you know, when they frame up a house, then they come by with their router and they cut out the windows. And so you got that chunk of board. The sides aren't exactly straight, but they make it great for this. So I cut that, and I cut it so that it's 16¼ which is how high your hive is. And I make it 22 inches long, so that we have a 2-inch landing board on here. And then I put a strip all the way around it and glue it down. If you don't glue it down, what happens when you're going to take it apart?
Comes apart.
You're going to end up getting your hive tool in the wrong place and ruin it. So I get that. So these are, you know, this is deluxe, this is adequate.
Actually, that one comes from the Homers, and it costs $20 online. You can buy a deluxe, and they're 36 to 40.
Yeah. And you can use, like that one, I found some old window screen, the hardware cloth, it is better. And then I don't leave this wide an opening, I leave about a 2-inch opening for it. So we put the third box on the top now, and then we wait. Let me see if we can change it on here. Okay, so we put it up there, and so now we're time to requeen. We need to put a queen for the new hive. So any of the older bees that are on here, when they fly out, they're going to go back home down here. So all you have here are young nurse bees. And the young nurse bees will accept a new queen. So then I take the queen, put her up there between the 2 frames, and leave her, and in a couple of days the bees will have eaten the candy out, and she's released. And then I wait 3 days, and then I come back and check in 3 or 4 days. If the queen hasn't been released, then I take a screw to poke the rest of the candy out so that she does get released. And I've only had, all the years I've done this, I've only had one time that they didn't accept the queen. And I don't know if it was a defective queen or not, but it was just when I got to the end there was no queen. But of all that I've done, it's over one time. So the young bees will accept the queen. Then I wait, it's good days, in 10 days, I'll add a honey super to the mother hive. That's just to give them space. They're not going to be.
So they just had like the 4 frames that you replaced, and they will.
Well, this one here now is we replaced the 4 frame.
Yeah, but they replaced it with empties.
Yes. So in 10 days, they'll pretty well have that filled. So I put a quickness splitter on, and then put a box on it. That raises this up 1 box, but the bees find it when they come back. So they're okay. And then at 15 days, I'll put a honey super on the top. So I've got 2 honey supers. They're not getting any honey put in them because there isn't a honey flow yet. And then when the honey flow comes, and if you haven't had it before, you'll know when you get to the honey flow because the top of the frames will have white wax on it, and they're ready to go. If you put it on too soon, they're going to swarm on you. Put it on too late, you're losing honey. And then by about, so I've got the queen put on there.
Jerry,
Yes.
could you move over so that we can see that? Could you go back to the previous one, the previous slide?
This one?
Yeah. And then just move so that we can get a picture of that, if you would, thank you.
Take a picture of our deal.
There we go. Thank you.
Okay.
Hold on.
You didn't know you were gonna be a movie star, did you, Jerry?
He's up for it.
Okay, questions on this that we've got now, on the divide feeder? Because see, the only bees that are in there are either babies that are just hatching out or the young nurse bees. We don't have foragers. So we don't want to have to make them sacrifice not being taken care of the new brood. So give them syrup so they'll be, so they'll be taken.
How far do the screens have to be apart?
Well, just as long as they're proboscis.
3/4 inches enough?
Well, yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just so they don't, just so
Well-
the queens don't fight.
Well, so it's not that the queens fight, it's that they get pheromones back and forth and then
Oh, I see, all right.
pheromones are one high. And, see, this is, I guess that's 3/4 inch stock.
All right.
And these are 6-inch holes.
You just need for heat.
So when the honey flow comes,
You have a
Then-
question?
I have a quick question. So when you do this split here, you have the two boxes on the bottom, and isn't it kind of like the same thing as if you just take the top box and move it over? Isn't it's like the same thing as a split, correct?
yeah,
So what does the like double screen board like? It transfers the heat, but like I'm imagining you're doing this in like April.
what you're doing is you're building a strong hive here, and you're building a strong hive here.
Okay.
Okay, then, when the honey flow comes, you take the divider out, and you put them together, so now you have 3 boxes.
So what do you do with the two queens?
They just,
They
we
come
let them
back.
take care of themselves. And I've never marked queen to see, which queen survives. The interest is gonna be the younger
Yeah, I
one.
got it now.
Okay.
But I never marked my queens, so I look in there as a queen and I don't know which one it is.
Okay, so
Yeah.
you just make a super colony, or double, make two
Yeah.
colonies into one.
But the
Yeah.
honey that they bring in is just, so in,
Jerry,
you know,
are you buying a queen when you're
Yes.
adding the second?
yes,
Okay.
Jerry, you talked last time I saw this presentation, you talked about your shims and something you do with your little shim board.
yeah, that's up here,
Okay.
okay.
But still, you're gonna talk about it?
So when we're, so now that these 3 boxes together, this is gone. So this is put aside. We have 3 brood boxes. And you've taken the entrance away for the top hive, but they worked it out, so they're okay. And then you put on a queen excluder, and as far as, if you're in an area where you've got 1,000 acres of clover, and you put the box on there, the bees are going to fill it before the queen gets in. But I've never had a time when the queen wouldn't come up into the honeysuckle. So I always put a queen excluder on.
Do you use plastic or metal queen excluder?
I use metal. I've got both, but
You like the metal one?
yeah.
Jerry, you had a super above your bottom 2 brood boxes, right?
You have
And then
3.
you had another super on the very top.
Yeah,
So did you take
when the
one
honey
of the-
flow comes, we put all 3 brood boxes together
Yeah.
and 1 queen excluder on top. And then on top of that, put this shim to give them an entrance.
Oh, so you're allowing them to enter on underneath the 3 brood boxes, and there's an entrance so they can go in to get to the honey super.
Yes.
Okay. That's
So that you'll have the honey, you'll have the queen scooter here, and then your 3 boxes. And I've made these, but the problem with these is that they're so flimsy that if you get 2 years out of your luck, and otherwise they break apart. So what I usually do is just get your sticks to put on here. So if you just lay those sticks on there and then put this on top, then you're okay.
And you do that so they have entrance to the honey.
So now you've got entrance up here, this thick, to the honey super.
3/8 of an inch.
Yeah. And the bees come and go on. And then, and it depends on the year, in 24, by the 20th of June I was extracting honey. Last year it took longer than that, but when they're capped or even 3/4 cap, then you take them off and extract them and put them back on again. Always have an unfilled honey super on your hive. In other words, if you've got 3 on there and they're all 3 full and you take them off to extract them, what are they going to do with the nectar that they bring in? So you need to have an empty one there for it. And usually, if you have 2 filled, the 3rd one will still have space in it. So then I extract it and then I put it back on again. For cleaning up the hive, when it comes to the end of the year, I just leave them wet when I put them into storage. If you put them out in the open for the bees to clean out, they just make a mess and you got bees from the whole neighborhood over on you. And so, there you just stack them, and the next spring when you put them on, the bees will go and they'll clean all that honey up and liquefy it and get rid of the next one. And then by the 1st of September, you want to have your honey supers off. Because if they're bringing any in, they're going to want to be putting that into the honey they're going to keep for the winter. And then by about the 20th of September or somewhere in there, check the bottom box, and you want to take the bottom box and put it in storage. If it still has some brood in it, then what I'll do is I'll put if it's got a couple of frames with some brood in it, I'll just put them loose in the box and put the lid on it and give them another 10 days and then take it off. So that they won't be filling honey with it, but you don't want to have it put away when you got.
So you still overwinter with 2 brood boxes, not 3. So you take that bottom one away and you still have 2 for the winter.
Take the bottom, you got 2 brood boxes. The other one you stay so that next year, next year when you come, you've already got some bee bread in your box. They don't have to draw a comb on it.
And this way you don't have to worry about your 5 hives turning into 10 because you cannibalize them down at the end of the year and you just have the same amount of bees or hives.
Yeah. So when you make the divide, if you do that on the 15th of April, which is when I usually try to get mine. That's when my Zuli's I get my queens. So you got the 15th of April, so that you got the new queen now that you're starting out. So it's going to be 21 days before any brood hands out, and then another 10 days before their honey processors. Well, by then the big honey flow is coming in, so you've got all those bees that are there ready to work for it. And then by the time the honey flow is over, then all that big house of bees that you had have all died, and you're back to just the bees that were from the one queen. And if you have questions, call me. If you've got a 5-minute question and have a half hour, why?
And your phone number is 1-800-BEEKEEPER.
You what?
1-800-BEEKEEPER, that's
Yeah.
you, right?
Yes.
You said that if you have queen cells when you do this, it throws the whole thing off.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about
Yeah, because
that?
when you put the new queen in for the, if the queen cells in the bottom, they're gonna hatch out and swarm. If it's in the top, they're not gonna accept a new queen.
And take 45 days before they start producing, where if you put a mated queen in, it will start laying at that point, so then you'll be ready for the honey flow.
Yeah. Right. And we get, with some years we get a little more, but usually by the first part of August, the honey flow is pretty well slowed down. And I don't know where my honey comes from. I don't have any alfalfa fields, and I don't have any clover fields.
So what you're saying is that it really doesn't matter whether the old queen or the new queen is the producer, because once you put them together, one of them's going to win, right?
Yeah, and I understand that there are times when two of them will work together for a while. But I don't know. I'm not.
The bees will keep them separate.
I don't know. They just.
They'll do what they want to do, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you, Victor.
We just try to manage bees.
That's that will last.
But it's hard to not get emotional when you talk about your honeybees. But they're really fun. So any other questions, or did I cover everything for you?
I have a question.
Do you have a secret as to where to get queen?
Yeah, one's cheap for them.
Where?
One's cheap.
Jerry sells them.
Oh, you sell them?
Yeah.
Well, I have a few. I get a few extras, and I pass those on for what I paid for them. So it's cheaper than a Homer sells them for me.
Yeah.
Where are you getting your queens?
My queens, I get them from Buzz's Bees in California, Northern California. They're nice people.
Do you have a question?
Oh yeah. I just have one question. When you make your $3 brood chamber, could you put on, like when you notice the honey flows is going, can you put on, say, I don't know, 4 supers right there, like instantly? Would they like?
Well, they'll just
work their way up?
use some of them, and the others will just be empty.
Okay, yeah, because I was just thinking like,
blow it over.
yeah, they'll just like work their way up, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like that. Okay.
But they'll work up in the center. They'll work up in the center.
Yeah.
They won't go to the side. Okay. Well, they'll do what they want to do, but quite frequently they'll just work in the center, and they won't fill out the whole box. So you only put one box on at a time.
And so when they're 8 of the 10 frames are full, then you add another one. So you just have to look and say, oh, they're almost full at the end.
Yeah.
And if you only have 3 or 4 hives, if you got 1,000 hives, you can't do it. but if you get more than double the honey. The average yield in Utah is 30 pounds per hive. And I give more than that away to my next door neighbor. Well, thank you. And anybody has any questions, give me a call. Let's see if all my pictures are covered. So there's the picture of the old man that he made. Thanks, you guys, for your
Jerry,
Yes.
I don't know if I heard you right. You said April 15th is when you maybe start this? Is that, did you say April 15th?
Well, as I can get queens.
Oh, okay. So,
But we right, if you had a queen that you put in a hive with a divide today,
I could do it.
you'd be ahead because today's, I don't know what's gonna happen to us. We've got so many bees.
Bill, do you think it's gonna happen earlier this year? I mean, everybody thinks this is gonna happen earlier.
What,
Right?
you know, I'm not an expert on that, but I would think so.
I had drones today, I saw.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna ask everybody, have you seen drones?
Yes.
Raise your hand if you've seen drones on your hives. You have drones, you have drones, anybody? You have drones? I have drones, I have drones at 6,200 feet, so.
62 what?
When you have drones, the queens are right behind, so.
If I have drones, can I sign up and sunrise early?
Oh, Suncrest,
Where
yeah.
do I have to wait?
Can you do what?
If I have some drones, can I split early around 15th or?
Yeah, you better.
I know, that's what I'm thinking, I gotta go, okay, sure.
Well, check your.
That's what I'm
First
thinking.
box is to do something with them,
You want myself? I know, that's what I'm saying.
I had
If they don't
drones a
have
couple
themselves,
weeks
they're not
ago.
going. It's not gonna split.
but reversing boxes is kind of like taking an aspirin when you have a rock in your shoes. Well, these are sure nice boxes. Where did these come from? Who brought the boxes?
Neil, are those your boxes?
They're good ones.
They're well weathered, you can tell.
What?
They're well used.
Yeah.
Are those, Neil, did you bring
Well, the
those
bees won't
boxes?
take long till they barn
Did you bring those
inside.
boxes? They're who? Oh, okay, yeah. Those are.
He's got the slides, I don't.
What do you need?
She wants you to go back to a previous slide. Someone named Dave. That's what he said.
Jerry, we have you back up just a wee bit, sorry. Yeah, thank you,
They're trying to get pictures.
sorry.
But they don't want pictures of you, Jared.
Yeah.
I'm gonna show everybody, these are great boxes. Instead of sanding, I like them to be, totally flat, so I'll go on the sidewalk, and I'll do this, I'll do a figure eight, kind of sand off all the propolis and make it completely flat. Make a flat surface all the way across. So if there's a high side over here, they get sanded off by just doing this on the sidewalk.
Only if the sidewalk's level.
Actually, that doesn't matter too much.
And your wife doesn't care about it.
We will mark up the sidewalk. That's on the neighbor's sidewalk. It's just a trick I've learned.
Yeah, I think that's good.
We're gonna bring the meeting to an end.
Oh,
Still-
and one announcement, anybody that is a new beekeeper that's scared about installing your package for Nook on April 4th, if bees are available, we'll have a class here and we're gonna install a package and a Nook here. So if you wanna come, come and you'll learn how to, because when you get your bees, you're like going, oh my crap, I'm in my backyard, these things are gonna eat me and carry me away or something. So we're gonna have a class for, and anybody that just wants to come can come, but it's real nice to have a working knowledge of how to install a package.
Is it gonna be at the same time, 6:30?
No, it's gonna be probably, I would say, hopefully it'll be, we'll post it.
Okay, deal.
And our newsletter guy is gonna post it, but probably like 8 in the morning, because you wanna do when it's cool.
Okay.
If you go to YouTube for Jerry Land 1937, there's a wonderful article on put packages in. It's a whole guy living in it.
I installed 4 packages one day, and I had what could only be described as a shitstorm of bees flying around that had been in packages for days, and they're just pooping everywhere. And there's poop flying all over my wall, over my backyard, all over me. It was just crazy.
Did you shake the bees into the box?
Yeah.
If you don't shake the bees into the box, you have you can have 2 boxes. You have one with the frames in it and an empty box. You can even use a cardboard box. Put an empty box on there. Put the queen in the center, and then tip the package over. The can is the door. So you take the can of food out and you tip it over and you set it on over the queen. And then you wait for 6 or 8 hours if you have that, or 2 days, whatever you want. If you have to leave, then you can go back in a couple days and they'll all be down in there. And if you shake the bees one year,
I don't think I should.
well, the next week I had 3 hives because they drifted. They don't know where their home is.
I think I set the
Box outside.
No, right inside, like I think I followed Jerry's. But we had bees
just turn it
flying
upside down and
everywhere.
sit Yeah, well, you don't shake the bees.
I didn't shake them. They were flying everywhere. And
Well, you do one package at a time, and you cover the box, and then the bees that are flying, they'll either find their way into their home box or in another one. But you button them up and you leave them for a little bit, and then you go in and you see if all the bees have gone down out of the package. You can take the package out, and then put the top on it.
And if you're buying them locally, don't let the queen out too soon.
Right.
Because what they do is they go through and they force the bees out. And so they're not all young bees, and
they'll put in a new queen in the package, and she may not be in there but 6 hours if you buy it locally, but so you have to wait for a few days. Ask the people that you get the bees from, when did you put the queen in? And if they say yesterday, wait a couple of days before you put them in, before you leave them into the box, because then the pheromones, the old bees may not get the pheromones, and they'll accept the queen. Yeah. Who knows exactly what will happen? The bees will decide what they want to do, but that's kind of the way.
I'll show you why it works. You've got all your frames here. You open up the package, you pull the queen out, you take her, put her between 2 frames here, and then you take and add an empty box with nothing in it, and then you put the package in like this, and you put the lid on, and then come back a few days later, all the bees, because they're not just flying out, they have to go down through your frames and come out here first.
well, we did that, but they had been in the package for several
they
days.
need to go
And they had to go.
Yeah.
They had to go. Like there were bees flying everywhere.
Well, they came back.
They did come
they
back.
oriented
Yeah, they all came
themselves
back.
before they went.
They'll orient within the day if you put a small opening on the bottom. That will keep from a lot of them leaving all at once. Okay, a restrictor.
Introducer.
If you put reducer,
It'll take them a couple hours to get that open, and then I put a bag of syrup in there because they need something to eat.
Yeah, give them food.
Oh yeah, you put that in, they put the syrup next to it.
Yeah, put a bag of syrup next to them.
Put the can upside down on the frames, right by the frame.
A lot of times they can't empty.
Enough, high enough, put a piece of wood or high enough so the bees can get up and suck the rest of that syrup out of the feed can.
I've come up with an empty can from the package. It's been hungry for a little while. All right.
You ever use just regular sugar?
Jerry does, he just.
The other thing you can do if you don't want your package.
That was the last time I used my weed.
Yeah, he does. In the wintertime, he doesn't make candy bars, he just puts a pile of sugar.
So another thing you can do, if you don't want your packages to drift, I've done 150 of them in the same yard on the same day. I just wait till a nice cool day. Don't wait till the evening. Package them, stage them all up, and go through, do what he says. I just put them in a single box of 3 frames. Sit the queen over, put the can in there, put the package in, they'll move over. If you do it in the evening, if you do it or do it on a cold day, you can package bees that way, other than this one, Jerry. You can package them on a cold, rainy day. If you shake them on a cold, rainy day, they're gonna stay in the bottom and die in the pile. And that's really sad. Okay, but if you just gently take the can out, I take the bees that are in on the can, give it a shake, I see the can so the hole is over the space between 2 frames right there. Queen sits here, the bees that shook off the can are enough to keep her warm until more of them migrate out. Sit your package in there, put the lid on, or walk away.
This is Dave, he's very knowledgeable, he's been doing this for years. When people ask me where to go to get bees, I send them to him because he's diligent. He uses, I use the word diligent for him. All right, now, the meeting's closed, if anybody could help us move the chairs all the way up the stage into the other room. And we can still talk amongst ourselves a little bit.
And let's thank Jerry for his expertise.
Thanks, everybody.